Here's the ranking of healing factors and regeneration in comic book characters, as per your scenario. Extremely low tier. 1. Ra's al Ghul dependent on Lazarus Pits. 2. Deathstroke enhanced healing, but not regenerative. 3. Vandal Savage regenerative, but slow and limited. Low tier. 1. Dakin healing factor, but vulnerable to adamantium. 2. Solomon Grundy regenerative, but limited and slow. 3. Mr. Sinister cloning and regeneration, but not instantaneous. 4. X23 healing factor, but vulnerable to adamantium. Low to mid tier. 1. Sabretooth healing factor, but vulnerable to adamantium. 2. Juggernaut regenerative, but limited and slow. 3. Apocalypse regenerative, but dependent on technology. Mid tier. 1. Wolverine healing factor, but vulnerable to adamantium and magic. 2. Thanos regenerative, but limited and dependent on infinity stones. 3. Martian Manhunter regenerative, but limited and vulnerable to fire. Mid to high tier. 1. Silver Surfer regenerative, but dependent on power cosmic. 2. Deadpool healing factor, but accelerated and unpredictable. High tier. 1. Hulk regenerative, but accelerated and dependent on rage. 2. Lobo regenerative, but accelerated and dependent on Zarnian physiology. 3. Swamp Thing regenerative, but dependent on plant life. High to extreme tier. 1. Sentry regenerative, but accelerated and dependent on void. 2. Doomsday regenerative, but accelerated and dependent on Kryptonian physiology. Extreme to top tier. 1. Dr. Manhattan omnipotent regeneration and healing. Note, this ranking is subjective and based on the characters' abilities and feats in their respective comic book series.